Roses and kittens and black-colored mittens might be a few of my favorite things. Actually, I don't think that's how the song goes, but those are a few of some people's favorite things. You know what I like? What one of my favorite things is? Android 4.1 coming to handsets. The Motorola Droid Razr HD Max has got it, and it's rolling out right now. Let's take a look at a full hands-on. Another device getting Android 4.1. It's actually not the latest version of Google's Android operating system. Android 4.2, which is also called Jelly Bean, is, but you know what? 4.1, I'll take advancement over anything, and it's going from Android 4.0 to 4.1, which is nice. Now, you know, the look and feel is really not that different. If you've worked with any Jelly Bean enabled device, you kind of know how it works. But that said, if you're looking for that device, you can't get a Nexus 4 because you're on Verizon, you love stock Android, you're an Android purist, this could be a good device for you on Verizon because when it comes to user interfaces, it's as close to stock Android as you can get without actually being stock Android. Of course, you see some Motorola customizations here. Down in the bottom, you'll see some of the icons are a little bit different as well. But in terms of a stock look and feel, it gets pretty darn close to the stock Android look. Of course, you'll see a couple of different things here as a result of having Android 4.1. First, some slight changes to the lock screen. Of course, you can see the notifications bar is different as well. You got the Android 4.1 clock up top. You got my fingerprints up top as well with the settings button, and then of course the X button to get rid of your notifications. So a little bit different there from what we saw on stock Android 4.1. Different icon, and of course you got your 7 new messages. You can see they're kind of grouped, and then you have Slack or Radio as a new update to be installed. So I can get rid of that, and I can go into Gmail and click on that and get rid of all of those. Of course, Google Now comes enabled on this as well. All you have to do is hit the home button, swipe up, and you can see Google Now and discover it when you need it. Now, I actually reset this device before I did a full video review or video walkthrough of Android 4.1, so just to make sure it was fresh and running as quickly as possible. But again, I want to underscore the fact that you get a ton of stock Android stuff here, at least when it comes to look and feel in comparison to Sense 4 Plus, or perhaps, you know what, something like TouchWiz, something of that nature. You get a lot more. The one thing I still don't like, though, about Motorola's user interface, you've got the quick settings, which are great. You can scroll to the left and get easy access to phone, ringtone, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, and more. What I don't like is how they implement their home screens. You can see this is obviously different than stock Android, and you can manage your pages. You can have a maximum of 7 pages and move those around as you see fit. So, for example, let's say I want this to be the home screen. Well, I have to configure the home screen to be the one that's closest to the quick settings. So as you can see, and this is a minor OCD kind of thing, but if you're a stock Android person, this may bug you, or if you're used to one of the other skins, this may bug you. For example, this is as far to the left as you get. This is to the left, and you can see the little blue bar moving across the bottom there. This one is the default home screen, and it's always going to be the home screen. I can't configure this one, for example, to be in the middle of all the pages like I can with TouchWiz and Sense 4. When I click home, it still goes back home. Otherwise, pretty stock look and feel all around. You got your favorites folder, which is one of my favorites. You got add and remove abilities, where if you know what you use, let's say calendar on a regular basis, I can put it on my desktop, but then I can also add it to, and we'll go in here, and we'll add and remove calendar, for example. We can throw in a calculator. Let's throw in calculator while we're at it and bring that over. And so those are some of our favorite applications now. Those are a few of our favorite things over here at PhoneDog, for example. I'm trying to get into the holiday spirit, trying to add those holiday analogies. Hopefully it helps. Maybe it's terrifying. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But you can see, again, a relatively stock look. Smart Action still enabled over here. And then, of course, contacts, relatively unchanged. I can go into Stephen Williams as a sample contact, and you get that really close to stock Android look and feel that you've come to expect from Android 4.1. You also see the transition effects as a result of Project Butter. For example, when I start up something like Play Store, you'll see the transition animation there, how the application kind of shifts out and goes into Play Store. Again, very much an Android 4.1 thing. Maps, for example, you can see how it kind of shifts out of the top, just like that. And that's something that comes with Android 4.1. Project Butter enabled. For the most part, this device has been incredibly smooth. That said, I've noticed a little bit of lag from here to there, but nothing too crazy by any stretch of the imagination. It's definitely fast. Project Butter helps. I don't really see a noticeable speed improvement over Android 4.0, like I've said on a couple of the devices that have been upgraded, but still really nice to get a new software version. It's nice that it's rolling out pretty quickly to Motorola users on Verizon Wireless. So again, notification bar, pretty impressive here. And then the grouping, of course, of the various accounts. This is something I like a lot on Android 4.1. So let's say you have 8 Google accounts. Instead of grouping each Google account separately, it groups them all under Google. So if I want to put another address, for example, our PhoneDog email address, which runs through the Google backend, something like my personal email address, which I have through Google Apps, which runs through the Google backend. I can throw all those in here and they'll show up in the accounts section. So that's not bad at all. That's a nice feature. And of course, Backup Assistant, which is a Verizon thing. Google Now is a nice feature as well out of the box. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage as Android 4.1 rolls out to more devices across the Android spectrum. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, PhoneDog_Aaron, and actually be sure to follow PhoneDog Taylor as well. PhoneDog_Taylor. He's going to be taking over. I'm spreading this news out. December 31st is actually my last day at PhoneDog. Taylor's going to be doing an awesome job with videos going forward in 2013, so be sure to follow him and hit him up with some awesome questions at PhoneDog_Taylor on Twitter. My personal account is Aaron C. Baker on Twitter. Feel free to follow me there as well. I'd love to hear from you through any of the channels, as well as Facebook, facebook.com/PhoneDog. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time.